Farming accidents have always been one of the main things that have scared me.
September 22, 2020, Crockett County, Tennessee. Kelly Griggs and her husband Matt, a fifth-generation farmer, had just completed the corn harvest for the season. They both left for their house separately, with Kelly being the first to arrive. But after a few minutes of not hearing or seeing Matt's combine harvester coming up the road, she began to feel uneasy.
He was literally right behind me after I left the field. You can hear the combine 2-3 miles away. So, kind of made me worried.
Kelly was getting into her truck to go check on Matt when she received a phone call from her neighbor.
Miss Kelly, this is Nolan. Matt's had an accident. He's hurt. He's really hurt. And that's when I basically floored it.
Matt was only a couple minutes down the road from the house when his combine hit a rough spot, causing it to bounce out of control. Not wearing a seatbelt, he was launched through the windscreen and landed hard on the pavement, just feet from the 20-ton combine's front tire. As Kelly came over the hill, she caught her first glimpse of the combine's wreckage, and her mind went to a dark place.
And I thought, he's been run over.
Meanwhile, Dr. Mike Revel, medical director and chief of emergency services for West Tennessee Healthcare, heard on his scanner that Matt had been ejected from the combine. A friend of Matt's, Dr. Revel, immediately went to meet the ambulance at the hospital to see to him personally.
I expected, based on the report from EMS, that he was going to be very injured. Once you're thrown from a vehicle, all bets are off.
As Matt was being evaluated by Dr. Revel in the emergency room, Kelly was outside contacting as many people as possible, asking for prayer.
I don't know what it was, but it was like someone telling me to call my friends. My grandmother always taught me, if you can't pray for yourself, then get others to pray for you. Because multiple voices are better than one.
Matt had a crushed vertebrae, 5 broken ribs, and a severe concussion, along with abrasions down his back. But what amazed Dr. Revel was that Matt had no internal bleeding or other life-threatening trauma.
You combine that with sudden stop and being thrown through a windshield, bounced off a steering wheel, slammed onto the pavement, and then by the grace of God, not run over by whatever you're in. Absolutely surprised that the scan was clean as it was.
Matt was discharged from the hospital the same day. It wasn't until he got home and inspected his combine that Matt realized his miraculous survival came down to only 3 wires that kept him from being run over.
Those 3 wires had been cut cleanly in half, but the rest of that bundle was completely intact. It should have still kept moving forward. There's no logical reason for just those 3 wires to be cut, but those 3 wires is what stopped the machine. I mean, there's only one way to explain it. The good Lord would put his protective hand over me. He stopped the combine. God is the only thing that can break the laws of physics and stop 40,000 pounds moving at 22 miles an hour in his tracks.
Dr. Revel also credits God for Matt's outcome.
Well, I think that's part of what faith is. You have to believe. And I see things every day that I can't put 1 and 1 together to make 2 that happen. But, I think he had a hand in this, and God bless Matt to still be able to climb in and out of that cab and give those directions just like he always has.
It took several weeks of recovery before Matt was back on his feet and ready to get behind the wheel of his combine again. Both he and Kelly believe it was prayer and their trust in God's protection that ultimately saved Matt.
I can't imagine anybody going through this experience without having faith. And I think the most powerful thing you can do is ask someone to pray for you.
It was an amazing experience to be able to feel the power of the prayer, the presence of the Lord. I mean, every day I'm able to step out on this farm. I mean, it's a blessing. The accident shown me that, life's short. Just try to be a little bit more easygoing and appreciate everything that God's given me.